Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here to draft our official SportsEthos Fantasy Football teams. I'm Keith Cork, of course. You guys can follow us all here on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at our handles here. But I've got Shane with me. I've got Arnold with me. We're going to be just kind of breaking down what we see as the picks come in. Again, this is a Superflex PPR league. And we are underway. Patrick has the first. Patrick Leary has the first pick here. He's going to be doing our in-season injury articles. But guys, as we're kind of waiting here, I'm first up here, so maybe I'll just pose a question. Are you guys in on that train of grabbing a QB early? What are you thinking here? You don't want to give it away. That's fine if you got a little wedge going on. No one wants to talk.
Yeah, so I want to keep that to myself. No,
Okay.
I have the fifth
Keep it
pick.
to yourself.
I'm going to go quarterback. I'm going to make sure I get a quarterback. There's 5 really good quarterbacks in this draft that you can get, and I think I'm going to be able to get at least one of them. I mean, as long as everything goes by right. I mean, don't see a reason why I wouldn't be able to. But yeah, no, definitely with my 5th pick, I'm going to go quarterback. If I was like towards the end of the draft, going like around like 11, 12, I wouldn't go quarterback with my first pick. That's just a personal. But at that point, there's not that many quarterbacks that I would actually want to start, and I'd rather just go 0 QB, which might be like kind of I don't know. I don't think anybody really wants to do a 0 QB in a Superflex, but I am willing to take that risk, and I think you can land a really good draft if you take that risk. But you just got to be really, really good with your picks before.
I'm just milking the clock a little bit here, just to let you finish there. But yeah, I think, obviously, would you take to, if anyone takes longer than 30, 60 seconds? Okay, people are getting upset at me. There you go, Coles. I picked before the 60-second timer's up. No, but I think, obviously, when you're talking about Superflex, you're able to start a second quarterback. And I do like to secure one of those top 8 guys. Since I've already picked, I can go ahead and talk here. But basically, it stops kind of for me at Trevor Lawrence. After that, I kind of would look to maybe grab someone else. I'm curious to see how far we go with the QBs here.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see now, Mr. With Brian Shade here, Mr. Wait on quarterback, what he does if he changes his tune in the Superflex a little bit here.
With the different settings, yeah. And I think this is a good one for us to do, too, because all of our content is geared towards PPR and half PPR. None of it's really geared towards Superflex. So we're all kind of on even playing grounds in some sense, at least here. But I am pulling up my my SportsEthos tiers here, and if you guys don't have that, we have the NBA or NFL Fantasy Pass available for $4 a month, and you'll get those access to that draft guide and also the tiers, which will help you draft. And there we go. So our guy Brian Shea did buck the trend there, and he went with the first non-QB player, Justin Jefferson.
I think when you're talking people like Justin Jefferson and Chase, and there goes Chase, you don't take some of those QBs over those guys still.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I was wondering to see if I wonder if you would have gone Justin Fields if I didn't go Justin Fields. I don't know where he draws the line for his quarterbacks. I don't know if maybe he would have drafted differently if he was with the 3rd pick rather than the 6th pick. A lot of questions better ask that guy. I'm gonna see if Brian down to answer those questions for us.
Well, and I think in this one where it's 4 points per passing touchdowns, a guy like Fields has even more value that he can bring. So we're to my pick, and I'm going to end up getting the guy I was hoping would slip. He's actually a guy, even in a normal draft, I would take as QB4, and that's Justin Herbert. So I just think he's bound for a rebound year. So I'm glad to get one of those guys secured.
Yep. Love some Justin Herbert this year. I end up with a lot of Trevor Lawrence in best ball, but I mean, that's best ball. It's a little different, but that's, like I said, that's kind of where I draw the line. I like to wait as long as I can because I do think that really Burrow, Herbert, or Trevor Lawrence could, easily slip into the top 3, if not be the top QB this season. There was Bijan to our guy Mike Coles.
Couldn't guess that one, honestly.
Yeah.
He's a big Bijan supporter, if you guys aren't aware. Go watch a fantasy or listen to and watch the Fantasy Road Show.
I heard it's like the best football podcast out there. You guys should probably check it out.
It is. It absolutely is. Celsius official says
Celsius,
so as well.
yeah. The unofficial official drink of the Fantasy Road Show, Celsius.
That's right.
Sponsor us.
Interesting here for Mike LaFamina, and I hope I didn't butcher that again, Mike. But McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill, so didn't grab a QB there. He'll have to wait for the third round at least.
Yeah, and that's what I would do also. Like if you miss out on the top guys, you might as well. It's too early to reach for people like Tua or Dak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at that point you do have to draw the line, and you do have to just start building a team and just commit to a zero quarterback kind of run.
We got Saquon and Bijan on the same team. That is a lit running back room there for this league for sure.
So normally this would be an easy pick for me, but after today's news, I am a little bit nervous on Cooper Kupp with that hamstring. It really scares me that he already has aggravated it. That could be something that lingers in the year. So I'm avoiding him with this early of a pick.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So Cooper Kupp, man, that's something that I'm also toying with in one of my home leagues. I have the 4th pick, and I'm deciding whether or not I really want to take him, or if I want to go with Tyreek Hill. I might have to just go with someone different. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, and I have a draft in 2 hours, so I have to figure it out in the next 2 hours. Also, we reported the Cooper Kupp news an hour before ESPN did. Just throwing that out there.
We beat ESPN. Sorry, we beat the big boys. No. Yeah, there you go.
No, we beat Sleeper. We beat Sleeper, not ESPN. Sleeper.
Yeah.
But Sleeper okay. I think Sleeper is still amazing though. Sleeper is super quick with their news, but we beat it by an hour. Here at SportsEthos. Just saying.
We're breaking news over there. If you guys don't follow already, definitely do follow at Ethos Fantasy FB, where we go ahead and have our blurred feed where we go ahead and give you guys the latest news. So we got Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott there. So the double QB for Chris Rossi, which, that settles him there. I don't think he's going to have to take one here for a while. So that's good.
If Fields was there, I would have gotten him. Okay. That's what I was assuming, honestly.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I threw it up there.
Yeah. I was assuming that you would have gone Fields, and I feel like that would have been where your line was going to be drawn. But you had to pick in between Herbert, Burrow, and Trevor Lawrence. You went with Justin Jefferson. I don't hate the pick, honestly. I probably would have stopped there too.
So predictable.
And his pick is going to be coming up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, his pick is coming up. So, I mean, he's probably looking for a wide receiver. I don't know if he's going to take the risk right here with Cooper Kupp. But to get Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson and both of them healthy, both guys that can finish as wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, I feel like that could be a no-brainer in some people's eyes, but he doesn't go that way. He goes to Devontae Adams, and now I'm left with the Cooper Kupp. Oh, man, I love this. I'm going to take all 2 minutes.
Are you taking him or aren't you? Someone's got to make that choice. And if you guys if you guys didn't see earlier, as Arnold was alluding to, obviously, hamstring injury for Cooper Kupp and soft tissue injury for a wide receiver. On a Rams team that there's question marks about, whether they're going to be competitive this year. Not to talk you out of it, Arnold. Go ahead and snag them up, but lots of question marks there. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm slowly talking myself out of it because, I mean, I don't want to have to deal with the fact that he's going to be having like a lingering injury, but you go big or you go home.
You do that. That's true.
And I am a little bit more. I think I have pretty good wide receiver drafting abilities that if for any reason Cooper Kupp wasn't going to be playing 100% of the season, I think I'll be able to figure out who I actually want to run with. But Cooper Kupp's ceiling is so high that you can't just pass up on him. I mean, yes, I know the injury news came out today, but I mean, what happens next week when everybody finds out he's okay?
Yeah.
Well,
he goes back to the same.
It's also like I'm a little concerned about not only him, and he's on the wrong side of 30, but even more maybe about Matthew Stafford, like in his neck issues and shoulders, and is that going to creep up again? And oof.
There's a lot of question marks there, but of course we all know. I mean, I think taking him in the second round Basically that's kind of the floor there for Cup. I don't think he's going to go any further than that, but yeah, I mean, it also depends on an injury if he misses time. So I'm going to go ahead and just snag kind of everyone's golden child here. At least it was a month ago or so. But Nick Chubb, I know it's PPR, full PPR format. I'm not super enamored with them in this format, but I do like to grab him here and just have a bell cow running back on my squad. I know I like to grab running backs early. So
I love that. Yeah, Nick Chubb is someone that could finish top 3. I mean, he has the talent to do it. He has the offense that could do it. I mean, he is a player that did not get to receive a lot of touches in the passing game because of Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is not there anymore. You had to expect this guy to take on a little bit more targets, more opportunities for him. He's talented as hell. He's going to go out there and do his thing, and he really much can finish top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And there goes A.J. Brown. Oh, and the Hurts Brown, he got a little stack there right away. So there's John Marcel's. Yeah.
Wow.
I would expect him when it comes back around. I will expect him to take Mark Andrews. He's said he likes to get his quarterback early and his tight end early. So that's where I could see Andrews going.
You hear that there, Patrick? Go ahead and take away Mark Andrews from him if you're listening. Any concerns about Mark Andrews this season with Monken there, air raid offense? I mean, does that increase his ceiling? There's more toys for Lamar Jackson obviously to play with. What do you guys think?
I don't think there's any concerns. He's the number one target there. Even if they've added weapons, Bateman and Beckham are not the picture of health, so they're probably not going to be playing all 17 games anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't guarantee the fact that they're going to play all games, but you can guarantee Mark Andrews playing almost all of them. He's probably going to play more than them. The thing is that with Mark Andrews, I mean, in my opinion, he's the only other capable suitor to finish as number 1 if it wasn't Kelsey. With all the weapons that the Ravens have brought in, Andrews is still taking snaps outside of the tight end position. He's still taking snaps in the wide receiver position, whether it be in the slot. He hasn't gone to the outside yet, but I mean, that could be something for him. But he's still taking those snaps, and I believe that he should be able to replicate any performance that he's been able to in the last 5 years. He'll probably end up having one of his best seasons as long as Lamar Jackson stays healthy enough to be able to give him that. That's the second part of it. That's the thing. Lamar Jackson also has to stay healthy. And if you're getting a Lamar Jackson that's going to stay healthy throughout the whole season and give him as many targets as possible, then you're going to see Mark Andrews just blow it up for you, and he's going to do amazing. But if Lamar,
there he goes. So
yeah,
as we all guessed, John Marcells gets his guy. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. No. You just got to assume that he's if Lamar stays healthy, Mark Andrews is great. If he doesn't stay healthy, at the very least, you're getting a guy that can finish tight end 3, tight end 4.
I know who Keith's going to go with here, and I'm not going to say it, but I know who he's going to go with.
I mean, I probably am. I'm between two guys, and I'm still debating with myself, but I think ultimately, I got to go with the sun god himself. I'm on St. Brown.
Yes, put on your Lions jersey.
Yeah, got to get my Lions guy there. I'm happy to get him there. I think he's going to have a really great season. I'm actually higher on him than Garrett Wilson, who went a little earlier. I think obviously you can go either way with that. I think Garrett Wilson's going to have a phenomenal season as well. But yeah, I love Amon-Ra this season. I was also considering another guy, but we'll see if he comes off the board here soon. I don't want to give away names, but
yeah.
I think I know who that other guy might be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we all get pretty much got the same. I wouldn't say same rankings, but same general sense of.
I think great minds think alike.
There he goes, Tony Pollard. That was the other
Damn it! Oh man, I was hoping.
Yeah, I almost double stacked the RBs though, because RBs. I mean, when you get so late, I mean, there's so many question marks there with some of those big guys falling. Go ahead, Arnold. Who are you picking here?
Yeah, I don't know. So this is also a dilemma that I have in the second round of the 4th pick, whether to go with Jalen Waddle or to go with Chris Olave. But over the last couple of days, I've just kind of breaking everything down and making sure that I'm getting the best value out of that second pick. And here I'm getting him with my 3rd pick. I'm super happy you're taking him. Jalen Waddle, somebody that has incredible ceiling. Floor, yes, I know it's kind of low, and it's probably lower than you would want it to be for Jalen Waddle. But Tua goes out there and he doesn't get a concussion. You should be able to go out there with Jalen Waddle, be confident in the fact that you'll have a guy that will end in the top 10.
Yeah, and Waddle is definitely the next wide receiver on the stack there for me after Garrett Wilson went as well. So I like that pick a lot. Kyle Brunson asked with the news, would you hold Kupp or he got offered Amon-Ra St. Brown? That's an interesting one. I think, ultimately you're playing redraft probably. I think for me, I probably hold Kupp. I hope for the best there, but curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Whoever wants to take that one.
That's a tough one. That is very tough with the news and the injury and the upside. I probably would also hold on Kupp right now, give it another day and say, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think Amon-Ra could have that ceiling to him where he could finish the first round, guy as a wide receiver. But I think Kupp's floor is definitely safer. I say safer, but that's assuming that he's healthy, of course. I mean, if he's going to miss, multiple weeks here, you might be better off with that one. So
he made that choice easy for me. That was one of the guys I was going to be deciding between was Josh Jacobs. So he made that choice. For me, I'm looking at just personally. So I've kind of we're pretty close to the end of a wide receiver tiers for me with Smith and Higgins. And then I think there's a separate tier that begins. I'm pretty confident, and I've got a big group of tier running backs in the next tier. And I think looking at who's behind me, one of those guys will come back. So I'm going to take Smith right now for this one. And I'll grab one of my running backs from the tiers that comes back around.
Fair enough.
I love that. Love that pick. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of value coming up with the running backs. A lot of guys that could just go unmissed. And you're probably not going to see in your drafts unless you're really keeping an eye on them. But guys that could be league winners nonetheless. So yeah, I love that pick. Got to secure up the wide receivers, and I was kind of looking at that too. With my team as well, getting my wide receivers early and then looking for value with running backs later on in the draft.
I feel like there's a lot of question marks, though. I mean, obviously, when we're talking about values, there's obviously the risk involved there, too. So I think, you're talking about value. It's like there's high ceilings, but also this floor is not necessarily safe. So that's why I like to opt to have at least one running back early. But I do also see you're increasing your ceiling if you wait for your running back. So I think there's something to that as well. So T. Higgins, it's a nice squad there. We got McCaffrey, Hill, and Higgins. Wow. Oh, no QB yet. That's the issue there. And neither does Coles. No QB there either. Should we start screwing with them and start taking QBs? There we go. There goes Deshaun Watson. Okay.
Oh, he doubled up on the Cleveland stack.
Yeah.
Okay, I can criticize those two picks later after my pick. But yeah. Okay, so for me now, when I do any of these type of drafts, when I haven't gone to RB yet, what I want is a safe, high floor running back. And so there's two guys that I think fit that bill. And there's only one of them that I feel is going to get a huge amount of touches, and that's Joe Mixon. So I'm going to take him. There's another guy that'll probably go this round that has that same high floor that we'll see come off here shortly, I'm sure.
I like it.
Yeah, I love that Joe Mixon pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cincinnati hasn't done anything to indicate that Joe Mixon's going to be out of there for this season. Even last season, they haven't done anything. They got rid of Samaje Perine. I mean, they are also a championship contending team. And if they were scared about their running back situation, they would have done something, but they haven't. So I love that pick. I think that's a super safe pick, especially getting Mixon for your as your number one running back right now. Like, that's amazing. That's exactly where I would have gone to.
So going back to Coles' picks, I may be in the minority, but I'm just a little worried about Cleveland's offense, the way they've looked this summer. Watson not looking the same. I mean, Amari Cooper the last 2 years has been wide receiver 44 on average on road games. I just have concerns about him. I'm not sure Watson gets back to that level of Houston.
Yeah, the last time Watson led a winning team was in 2019. Like that was a very long time ago. and then the year after he blew it, and then everything happened, and then Cleveland, his first year there wasn't too spectacular, but that's just how it is. Oh, I'm on the clock. Oh
You're the
God,
clock.
I am. Okay,
Well, I got
so
the
I'm
log.
assuming
That's
I
okay.
might be taking the guy that. Okay, no, you know what? Let me retract. Let me retract. Actually, I might be looking at the guy that you might like, Shane. It was another running back. Did he already go off the board? Was it Najee or Aaron, or is it still he's on the board?
Najee already went off the board.
Yeah,
And
Najee, yeah, and Aaron Jones went.
Yeah, right after.
Was Aaron Jones your other guy?
Aaron Jones is one of them. Yep.
Hmm.
And so it was going to be Mixon and Aaron Jones
Yep.
for you? Okay, all right. I just wanted to clarify on that one. Okay, then I'm not going with the guy that you're thinking. So I found myself in this situation again. I feel like I'm practicing for the fourth pick right now. Okay, so there's two guys that I really want. I'm just going to say their names. I want Breece Hall and I want Jahmyr Gibbs. If Jahmyr Gibbs were to fall to me into this position, I would 100% take him. The only reason I'm not taking him this time is because I would rather go with Breece Hall on a better offense. And I talked myself out of it. I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs.
Talked myself out of
it. Yeah, I talked myself out of it. I'll tell you why I talked myself out of it. The first couple of weeks for the Jets are going to be kind of tough. It's going to be a tough running back schedule. Breece Hall's coming off of a leg injury. They got Dalvin Cook. He's going to be projected a lot of targets, a lot of just opportunity on the offense. But we all know that Rodgers running backs aren't going to be the best value when it comes to fantasy. Jahmyr Gibbs, on the other hand, it's going to be his first year in the league. He's on an offense that he should be getting a pretty good amount of targets on. The running back, and he's going to be a PPR legend as long as Jared Goff just checks it down to him. So I like that Jahmyr Gibbs pick. I'm not saying it's safer than Breece Hall. I feel like it's more bullish, but I do like Jahmyr Gibbs. I just feel like having Jahmyr Gibbs right there is a great pick for me. I talked myself out of it.
No, I would 100% go Gibbs over Breece Hall.
Jamie thinks he knows me. Jamie's talking smack in the chat. He's telling me to pick somebody, but I don't think I have that up on the screen here. But man, I was really looking at DK Metcalf there. Really, really wanted him, but unfortunately, I'm not going to get him here. There's two guys I'm looking at. Yeah, Jamie thinks he knows. So I'm going with, well, you know what, buddy? Let me go ahead and surprise you. Oh, man, this is tough. I think I'm between two wide receivers, actually. So it's not the guy you're thinking of, Jamie. But thank you for your concern there for my love of a certain dude. You know what? Screw it. This is a league where I want to have fun, too. So I'm going to go ahead and just lock him in, DJ Moore.
Yep.
Have fun. Have fun. That's great.
Why not? So
I'm going Jared Goff next. Come on.
Yeah, well, we'll see about this. We're so proud of you is what Jamie says. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. We'll see. Don't want to go ahead and burst anyone's bubble here or ruin anyone's draft plans, but there is somebody else I might be eyeing.
Well, I mean, listen, they're going to be like they were one of the lowest passing teams last year in the league. They're not going to be that bad this year. I mean, they're going to let Fields throw a little bit more. And the great thing about Moore is, he doesn't need to have a large ADOT to have successful weeks. You can just get him the ball wherever, and he's going to get plenty of yards after catch.
I think Marcell's is in a situation where he could have both QBs hurt, by week 11. He's Anthony Richardson and Jalen Hurts. Both are going to rush a whole heck of a lot. I am scared as heck about Anthony Richardson. I'll tell you guys that, just like with everything happening with the Colts. I mean, where do you guys put him right now on your kind of QB depth chart? Is he higher, lower than, we'll say a month ago?
He's a little bit lower for me. I mean, in regards to now on this type of league, maybe so, but boy, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Is it bold to say that now that Jonathan Taylor's out, Anthony Richardson is RB1?
Yeah, he will lead the team in rushing. Yep, he will.
Call me bold.
He will lead the team. He'll lead the team in rushing. Yeah,
that's true.
And that's why I'm high on him. That's why I'm higher than a lot more people, because now that JT is not going to be there, it's just going to be like rush galore for Anthony Richardson. And maybe that's not what you want to do with your rookie quarterback, but the Colts are given one of the easiest schedules in the league. Like, why not take advantage of it?
Keenan Allen was the other guy I was looking at, by the way, between DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I went DJ Moore instead, which I'm still happy with. There goes Kenneth Walker. And can I put a drum roll in here? Like, is there just like, come on, can we just like get something here? I mean, we all know who I'm picking here, right? We all know who I'm picking here. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. My golf love knows no bounds. I've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously. So there you go. I've got Jared Goff.
I love that. Stick with your gut.
Hey man, I mean, so I wrote the let's go. That's right, just for you, Jamie. So yeah, I wrote the QB sleepers article and was looking at some of the stuff that some of you other guys had given us in terms of what the defenses look like and all that good stuff. So if you haven't read it, if you have the NFL Fantasy Pass, go read it. But I really do think he's got upside to be top 8. I mean, easily. I think he's had that before in him, and I love the way that the lines are set up. I know everyone says, oh, he doesn't have targets, he doesn't have guys to target on the field, and I just don't agree. I think Laporta's good. I think obviously I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I think people will step up. I think he'll have a good season. So Geno Smith and Aaron Rodgers go right after. So I started a little QB run there, and then Russell Wilson as well.
Mm-hmm. Can I throw a little hot take in real quick?
Yeah, hot take me.
The Lions are going to beat the Chiefs week 1.
Oh wow,
that is hot. That's scorching.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be another freaking like Goff versus Mahomes classic. It's going to be fire. I can't wait.
Go back to the Mexico City game on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's going to be the first game of the season. I mean, like the Chiefs just came off a Super Bowl run. They're probably not going to be 100%. Like they can't be 100% locked in. At least not as locked in as I think the Lions will be for the first week. So betting wise, like I would probably bet spread and over, and line spread. And I mean, will I say like the Lions will actually beat them? Will I take money line? I don't know exactly sure, but I do think that they could beat them. Like I'm like leaning towards the fact of the Lions. Maybe I'm just like delusional and I just want to tell myself this and I want to make money, but I think the Lions will beat the Chiefs week 1.
I just need to behold the line until Jameson Williams comes back, especially for my best ball teams. Go ahead. We're going to say something, Shane.
Nope. So I just went with RB2 and a guy I think is going to be bounce back this year, has potential to easily be the top 15 running back. People are dismissing him that he can't catch the ball. I think it was in a previous offense where they didn't throw the running backs. This Todd Monken offense is going to throw the ball to him. I think they've made that well known. So I think his catches go up this year for sure.
Yeah. I agree with that too. I don't think that people are like realizing that it wasn't the fact that he couldn't catch the ball. It's just Lamar wasn't throwing it to him.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
All right. We've got the Fantasy Roadshow on the clock here.
Who does? Yeah, he's got
a QB1. Oh, he goes with Ayuk.
That's on brand. He's staying on brand.
Yep. Sounds like him.
Yeah.
And Mike comes up. Mike takes his QB1 and Kenny Pickett. Hey, that's not a bad QB1. Not too bad. And Sam Howell.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I mean, I think, I don't think either of those guys could compete with, a top 7, 8, 9 QB week to week, but Pickett's been looking good in the preseason, obviously. And then Sam Howell, I've been all over him in best ball, and he was named starter. Don't think that's really going to change. So I like that stack for late round QBs.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke was amazing like 2 years ago, and same offense basically. And now he's got an upgraded receiver, upgraded running back. I mean, Sam Howell could probably step in and just do some work. I respect the pick.
And he's got the rushing potential as well. So,
better defense.
So that's cool.
The other quarterbacks on the board are Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Tannehill. I don't know. I think those were some pretty solid picks. I probably would have leaned towards Derek Carr, but I do respect the picks though. Respect the picks 100%.
So it's funny you mentioned that because to me, we're at a point where the QB2s are looking a little dicey, and I was just looking at Carr as kind of that last one in my tiers. So I had him all queued up to go. So
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fair enough.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, I like that. I think Derek Carr's going to come in and just go off. He's going to have a great season.
And it's just Sean Ryder here, the Jonathan squad that doesn't have a QB2. So we'll have to see if he tries to snag one here or just at this point, I think just screw it, right? Just kind of wait. It's kind of what I would do.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know about you guys. Like the QB2s went a little bit sooner than I thought, especially with some of the guys who had really strong established QB1s even.
Yeah. I did pull the trigger early on golf. I just couldn't handle myself.
I didn't assume that Rodgers was going to come all the way back around my pick, so that's why I took him there. I don't know. In a league like this with the guys that just know what they're doing, I feel like Rodgers would have definitely gone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the clock.
You're on the clock, yep.
Yeah. I'm looking at like the draft board and everything. Okay.
So it's 2 minutes. It's okay. We're not going to miss our picks here.
Okay, so here I'm probably looking for a running back, and I'm going to be digging a little bit deeper into the running backs because I think I can. No, never mind. I'm not. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting a guy that I feel really like confident in the fact that he could finish in the top 5 tight ends. Darren Waller is going to get a bunch of targets, and so there's a lot of guys that I would go with here, like a lot of guys. The thing is that I don't think that Waller would fall around or come back to me next round, so I'm getting him now just so I can secure him, and then let the guys that I want like slowly diminish, and I'll be happy with a couple of these guys that stay on the board whenever my turn comes around. So I feel like getting Darren Waller here is going to be kind of I'm essentially playing the board right now.
Well, there's not a lot of tight ends that are going to be north of 100 targets, and he's definitely one that will be in the 110, 120 target range, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, right? As long as Daniel Jones can get to him. Because like that offense isn't designed for Daniel Jones to be throwing the ball so many times. So you would hope that they're going to implement more plays, and they spent money on Waller. Like you have to get it to Waller. I mean, you're not going to spend over.
I think we saw it that preseason game two games ago. They just targeted him like crazy on that first drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's great. It's great to see because the offense has just been going around the fact that Danny Dimes isn't as good as a quarterback, so they're trying to limit his errors as much as possible. But you get this guy a target like Waller, and his errors should go down.
All right, what are you looking at here, Keith?
I do. Man, Christian Watson was definitely on my short list there, but there's a couple of guys I actually probably prefer a little bit over him, so I'm pretty happy here. I'm just going to go ahead and take Debo. Debo's going to be my selection here. I'm happy that the QB situation's been figured out there. I'm happy with the QB situation, and hey, if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, I essentially have his handcuff here. He might get an additional 5, 6, 7 rushes a game if that does happen. So I do like Debo here.
Yeah.
Just realized that Ayuk went before Debo.
Yeah, he did.
Finally.
Yeah, I didn't.
For a while, it was about 3 rounds difference between the two, and I just didn't understand it. It took a long time to kind of even out, but if you got in some early best balls, you got some really good value with Ayuk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he rose so much. I stopped getting him. I don't really get him too much these days, but in the beginning, I was surely, thanks to you, getting him quite a bit in those best balls for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about Ayuk and like why you like him so much?
So for me, like he just there's a couple things. He beat Samuel out in every receiving category last year. So you're talking about receptions, yards, touchdowns, and I think there's 2 things. One, I think Samuel's year of 2 years ago is more of an exception than the standard. Like once McCaffrey came aboard, you saw his rushing attempts go down a little bit. And I think it's just for me, it's just an eye test. You look at Ayuk and you can see the dynamic playmaking ability and his route running. And he's just a little bit more dynamic of what he can do.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah. No, that's great. That's a great point. I don't draft Ayuk whatsoever. It's not because like I just don't like him. It's just I am ignorant to Ayuk, honestly. I don't have a reason to draft him. I don't have a reason not to draft him. I just look around him. So hearing that is nice because, I mean, with draft season coming up, obviously we're already in it. We're right in the middle, right smack in the middle of it. It's good to know. It's good to know. So maybe I might consider him as draft coming up.
So there goes Drake London. He's another guy I had kind of on my list there. I had another name or two over him though, but good selection there. I think I like that. Let's see what he backs it up with. I'm curious to see here. I don't want to give away too much here. It's my turn because I'm looking at some guys, but I'll talk when it's my turn. I'm on the clock here. But curious to see who he chooses. That's all I'll say.
Let's see.
Yeah, I would assume he's targeting a running back here.
Yeah,
only having one running back.
I
would assume.
That's where I'm going with that. And yep, there you go. Kamara. Okay. Yeah, I was curious because there's and this is okay. I don't think he's going to take another running back 3 in a row. Go ahead, John. Take my running back if you need to. But there were 3 teams that are still there, including myself, that don't have RB2s yet. So actually 4 teams, it looks like. So yeah, I was curious to see if he'd go RB there.
So let me ask you this. I'm curious, Arnold, to get your opinion. Would you take Arnold or Taylor first in drafts now, knowing the 2 situations?
Was that posed to me or?
Arnold, yeah. Arnold, who would you take, Jonathan Taylor or Kamara first?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I mean, it kind of just depends on the team that I built. If I feel pretty safe with my running backs, I would go JT. If I don't feel safe with my running backs, I'd probably go Kamara. Yeah. That's probably how I would take it.
Just recognizing here. Oh, here we go. Week 5 bye, and I haven't been looking at that at all. I probably should pay attention to that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go Miles Sanders here.
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
I like it.
RB2, I'm totally comfortable with that. I think it's
a
safe play. So there you go.
He's going to crush his receptions.
Mm-hmm.
That's another guy that people say he can't catch. I'm like, no, he was just in an offense that didn't target running backs. When he was with Deuce Staley, his rookie year, he had 50 catches. He's back with Deuce Staley in Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know what freaking Carolina's produced over the last couple of years. So like, he's going to get a good workload.
Yeah, I'm totally fine having him as my RB2 there. So if you guys haven't already, by the way, just going to mention it again, go get that NFL Fantasy Pass if you're watching in. We do cover everything here. All these guys that are giving you some insights here have contributed to this, and just a fantastic piece of help for your drafts. I mean, look, I haven't played fantasy football in probably 6-7 years. These guys got me up to speed quickly. Like within weeks, I was already drafting best ball teams, and I was crushing competition already. So it's $4 a month. Go get it, and you're gonna really enjoy it. We're gonna do some Q&As. We're gonna do some injury reports every week, start sits, everything like that. Rachaad White, talk to me, Arnold.
Oh yeah, he's just one of my guys. I love Rachaad White. I mean, so last year I got burned by Lenny, and being able to have Rachaad White was super nice. I think that with the offense that where it's heading towards now with Baker, one thing that people always say is that Baker doesn't check down to the running back, but Baker is one of the best check downs to the running back guys that are out there. When he did with Carolina and what he also did with Los Angeles last season, kind of showed what he's able to do. And I think that Rachaad White is going to be a PPR legend. I think he's going to be able to go out there and get you upwards of 5 targets, and then I'm not upwards, maybe even closer to 7 targets. Honestly, with an offense like that, I mean, you should be able to have the space to get those kind of options open. I just think Rachaad White is a grand slam, in my opinion, because he's just one of my guys. I just love the way he plays. He's young. He's quick on his feet. He's going to go out there and on an offense that obviously is missing a big part of it being Tom Brady. Rachaad White's going to be able to come out there and just provide so much for that offense.
Brian's convinced that Miles Sanders can't catch, but yeah, go ahead, Shane.
So my guy just went. I was going to take Madison. He's been my guy all summer, for sure. So he's gone. So now I'm going to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to go down a little bit of the rankings. But I think this is a guy that is ready to break out this year, for sure. And I've changed my tune. I had him as an early bust in our draft guy, and then when we revised the article, I had to revise him as not a bust. And that's George Pickens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just think they have expanded his route tree so much that he's not just going on go routes and corner routes. And I just think he's a lot of upside there.
Mm-hmm. I love that pick so much. That's a great pick. I was really hoping he would like slide on to the next round, but damn.
Yeah, it's one of those, you have a strong opinion early in the season, but then you start seeing different reports and data and things happen, and you got to pivot away from it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. You have to be able to adjust what you're thinking here. Which again, if you guys are following the board feed, we are giving you that advice. Are we buying the news? Are we buying the preseason hype? On guys, that's going to go ahead and give you guys some insight there. Goddard went before Kittle, which is a little interesting there. Not super surprising. It does happen pretty regularly, I would say, but obviously Brian's a big Eagles fan, so he also has some high hopes for him this season. So just thought that was kind of interesting to mention there. But we had quite an RB run there. With 6 guys going off there in a row, basically. So, yeah,
and that's what me and Shane were talking about earlier. Like, there's a lot of running backs that you could find in these rounds that could be league winners. It's just who are you going to draft, and your draft's going to decide which one you're going to be able to get. So, if you do decide to take that early strat where you go wide receiver early, go tight end early, go quarterback early, you should be able to find some really solid guys from the 4th, 5th, 6th round.
Yeah.
Guys regarding, the running backs in those rounds.
Absolutely. And let's see.
Surprised Kyle Pitts hasn't gone yet. Kyle Pitts has not gone. Kittle went. Goddard went, which I understand, I guess, but I probably would have taken Pitts just because of the upside.
Yeah.
But that's one guy that I'm kind of just staring at right now. I'm not going to pick him, but I'm just staring at him. He's staring back at me.
Yep. He is a guy that's still sitting out there in at the tight end position. Deontay Johnson goes. These Pittsburgh guys. Again, Pickett, the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking really, really good in the preseason. So their ADPs are climbing. There's Tyler Lockett. I like him a whole lot too. That's a good pick.
All right, Cole, don't take my guy here.
Yeah, the Steelers had a historically terrible season passing the ball. You can't repeat that kind of season again. So
no.
Yeah, you would hope not.
12 passing touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hopefully DJ and Pickens will be able to clean that up for Pickett, and Steelers could just have a solid year.
All right.
Let's see. I wonder where he's going. Seems pretty balanced. Maybe running back, but running backs on the board. We have
running back to start. We do start 2 running backs. Just to kind of clue you guys in. I don't think I did that. So 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a super flex, a kicker, and a defense, and a QB, of course. So those are the spots there. So only 2 wide receivers. So you don't have to draft as many wide receivers as other leagues, most likely. But yeah, I think you could feasibly go running back here. He goes Pitts. There's Kyle Pitts.
Okay. Yeah, I assumed Pitts was going to come off the board in these next couple picks, like at least before the turnaround with Cross.
Yeah,
with Cross.
So that was one I had in the queue. So since he's gone, I am going to pivot. There's about 3 guys left I have in a tier for my number 3 running back. I'm going to go with a guy that I've kind of been on all summer. I never really understood the huge discrepancy between him and the other guy on his team, and that's David Montgomery. So I'm going to put him as my first reserve running back.
There you go.
Love that.
Yep.
Yeah, the Lions running backs were number 1 in scoring, if I remember right, last season.
Yeah.
And they're just filling in the pieces. Montgomery, he's great.
Shocker on Montgomery. No, it's not a shocker. I actually just bet, actually part of our wager pass. If you guys don't know, we do a wager pass at SportsEthos, so I do some player props there. I just bet it's over 6.5 touchdowns. I believe that was on DraftKings for plus 105. So I went ahead and bet that. I think it's a good bet. and I think he can get there. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a nice offense there in Detroit. Obviously, I am high on them. So
yeah, there's going to be just so many options. I love that.
It's so nice because they only have 2 running backs on the roster. I don't think they added anybody yet.
No.
So just 2 running backs on the roster. So.
So here I'm looking at wide receiver. There's a couple guys that I could go here. One guy that I would have really liked to have, but I'm not going to take him. He's a running back. Is James Conner. I made a point that James Conner is just talented. The Arizona Cardinals, their offensive line, obviously for the last couple of years have not been good. They just haven't been a really good team the last couple of years. And James Conner continues to just go out there and be the best player on that field and produce fantasy-wise. That's just because he's talented. So no matter what team you put around him, I feel that you don't have to necessarily be like, oh, okay, he has a bad team around him, he's not going to do good. James Conner is going to go out there and do good. So maybe he'll go after this, but I'm going to go with one of my boys, Hollywood Brown. And the only reason I didn't go Mike Evans because I didn't want to stack Tampa Bay guys. I probably would have gone Mike Evans if I didn't go Rashad White. But because I think Mike Evans just go out there and have a great season, 1,000 yards.
You son of a Freiermuth was the guy I had loaded up here and ready to go. But that's okay. I've got some other guys that I like a whole lot, but that does hurt. I was hoping I'd be able to snag my tight end 1 here. I was going to go ahead and mention if you're at either end of the draft order, it's pretty easy to see what people are going to do after you. So I was going to grab him here because my guy Patrick also doesn't have a tight end yet. So if he happened to be eyeing him, I just wanted to have my chance to get him. But obviously that chance has passed. So between really, man, I like all these guys, but they're all wide receivers. I'm between 4 of them right now, but
it's a couple of good ones.
Yeah, man. Okay. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab him here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Taking him there.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, rookie, wide receivers, they do produce now, and he's gonna be heavily targeted, I think, in this air raid type offense. So
yeah, he's wide receiver 1 on that team, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I believe that too. It's just can't really trust Odell with his injury history and Rashad Bateman as well. I feel like I don't know. It's hard to say too because you can't really trust a rookie wide receiver, but I trust a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
So that's a great pick. I thought you would go with someone else. I don't know if I should say his name.
Not yet. No, he's not drafted yet.
Yeah. I'll wait it out.
Just wait. But I'm curious to hear who it is. But
yeah, I think that in my board, what I'm looking at, there's still 4 great receivers to take here in this next round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of an agreement. Since you guys aren't around me, I can say I'm definitely in heavy agreement there. So we'll see what happens. Let's see.
So after going Kamara and Etienne, I'm assuming he would go running back. Yeah.
So there goes your Connor pick. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's solid. I think you could throw him out there any week, and he'll go out there and give you a nice stat line. And his ceiling's pretty high too. So.
Well, and the thing I did like about him was he put up some good fantasy points without Kyler Murray. There's this narrative Kyler Murray's not going to play. Well, he still put up really good points last year when Murray was out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, James Conner knocked me out of the playoffs in one of my leagues. And to this day, I'm just ruining the day. So, I mean, if I get James Conner, I'll take him. Don't want him to burn me. Or not even burn me, just opposite of burn me. Just heat me up. Would he go with a third running back? Or a third receiver? Or a tight end? He still doesn't have a tight end yet.
Ooh. Gosh, I just love the wide receivers around this range. I can't get away from it.
Yeah, there's some great ones. I wish I was kind of earlier here. Oh, there goes one of them.
Yeah, John Dotson. Yep, he was definitely on my list there. That's okay.
So that's 1 of 4.
Yeah. Well, I keep adding more too. I'm like, oh man, I'd love him too. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go wide receiver here again, even though I probably need to go running I'm looking at the running backs left though, and I feel like if I load up later, I I think I'll be okay. So I'm not super concerned about it. We do have 18 rounds here, and there's gonna be a running back that's drafted super late that's just gonna step into like a great situation. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so I'm assuming he would go. John's probably going to go wide receiver here. Only having 2 wide receivers on the board, I'm assuming he'd want to go with Def.
JSN.
And, yeah, there we go.
And that actually wasn't one of the guys I was eyeing. So,
although I do, there's still a couple of guys here on the board.
Yeah, I'm torn because I do love all these guys, and there's 2 that I'm pretty much between right now.
I feel like I know which one you really want to get, but
maybe I don't know. Do I want? Let me see. Hold on. Do I want to start? I mean, it's no one's on my. Yeah, I think okay. I'm just gonna go with Michael Pittman here. Michael Pittman's the one I'm gonna go with here. There's 3 other guys I was pretty much between as well, but I do think he could be hyper targeted in that Indianapolis offense with Anthony Richardson, young QB. Not a whole lot of other weapons there in the running game, so we'll have to air it out at some point. So I'm hoping Michael Pittman gets a whole lot of targets his way.
Yeah, and he's a wide receiver 1 there. Like he's going to have to get a buttload of. Okay, there we go. A buttload of targets.
There's the guy. There was the other guy.
Yeah. Okay, that was the other guy. That's what I assumed you wanted to go for, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were in between Addison or maybe Mike Evans. Gosh. Okay, so I did want to go Mike Evans before. I'm not going to. I'm going to shore up a couple of my running backs, and I'm going to get Khalil Herbert. Get that Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert stack. I think Herbert's going to be great this season. I mean, obviously we saw him in the first game, and yeah, I know like it was just a little screen, and he did the rest of it. But he did the rest of it, like he did all of that. Like I'm okay with that. I love that actually. Like I love the fact that he was able to do something like that, just prove to people that he's going to be great this season. And I had Monty last season in one of my leagues. I was able to pair him up with Herbert because I knew that there was an opportunity for Herbert to come into the offense and just explode. And he was given the opportunity. Monty's not on the team anymore. And Khalil Herbert's the number 1 option. And I know they got Roshan and I know they got Deontay. But I think Herbert's still that RB1. And I think he's going to get a bunch of those carries if Justin Fields isn't doing it.
So Herbert's another one I've changed. Keith, I remember you and I talking early on in one of the videos. You're like, hey, you got to stay away from this 3-headed disaster of a backfield. But the preseason, Herbert just separated himself completely.
I do think he's going to be set for a strong start to the season. I think it's going to matter, how the Bears do in terms of win-losses as to what happens throughout the rest of the season. You could be looking at Rashawn Johnson, stepping into a bigger role, obviously, but I really do think that Rashawn Johnson's really just going to be mostly a special teams guy unless there's an injury. I do think Khalil Herbert's probably that dude for the entirety of the season. I think there's a very good chance that happens. So he's been climbing up ADP and rightfully so. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, a couple of weeks ago, you would not be, you probably wouldn't take him in the position I would take him. You would take him about 2 rounds later. But ADP is climbing. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that it's still kind of low in a spot where I am willing to take him. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to get him there.
So this is my pick now coming up, and this is I talked with the Roadshow guys about, and besides me, they're the only ones. But it's my Jon Snow pick, my Jon Snow versus the White Walkers pick. I am taking a rookie tight end, and I am taking him as my number 1 tight end, and that's Dalton Kincaid.
Love that. Love that.
There's a lot of hype around him, but I think it's justified. So I don't mind it at all. Connie Bo is asking here. You guys probably answered this, but what should I do with Cup? We did answer it, so definitely check out the earlier video. But I will go ahead and answer it again. We are concerned, absolutely, but we do think that he's still pretty safe, at least as a 2nd round value, with obviously that 1st round upside. So I would hang on to him if you did draft him. Someone's offering you a 2nd round guy with a similar upside, then go ahead and pull the trigger if you'd like to, if you're worried about it. But otherwise, I think he's a hold. And then Jace Moore is asking, should I start Jahmyr Gibbs or K9 this week? Super torn on it. Any answers there for him?
I kind of want to go into depth with the Cooper Cup real quick, only because I feel like they might be in the same position I am. I'm drafting number 4 in one of my leagues, and I have to make the decision whether or not to really realistically go in between Cooper Cup or Tyreek Hill. After the news today, I'm leaning heavier on Tyreek Hill. I think Cooper Cup will probably go right after. So if you're drafting at the 5th, you might be able to get Cooper Cup, and I feel like that's still better than nothing. But I don't think you should be too worried, like extremely worried. And I know the news broke today, but it's the first day. Give it a week. Sit on it for a little bit. And if you need to make a trade throughout the season, make a trade. It's fine. I mean, Cooper Cup is going to have that value. And then I don't know, do you want to answer the Gibbs or K9?
Yeah, so Gibbs, I would go with Gibbs real quick. I like his week 1 matchup. You're looking at Kansas City. That A looks like a potential high scoring game. B, even if Detroit gets down, that puts Gibbs even in more play in comeback mode, catching more passes. So I think he has a very high safe floor for you.
I 100% agree with that.
And if you guys aren't already, go follow these guys on Twitter. I know they both put out great work there. But especially Shane with those threads, man, those are so insightful. Do find those very helpful. So do follow these guys. You can see their Twitter handles here on the screen. Guys, well, you know what? I shouldn't say anything. I don't want to give anything away, but I'm getting a little worried about something with my team. It's not hard to figure out. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm getting a little bit nervous. Gabe Davis is another guy I was kind of looking at.
Yeah, he took my pick there for sure. So for me, I don't think this guy is going to make it back to me, coming back all the way around at the end of the round. I have him in my ranks a little bit higher than the guys above him in we ranks and see. And so I'm going to go on the upside, and I'm taking Sky Moore.
Yeah, that's another guy. So now almost every guy that was on my list there has gone so far, but which makes me happy to see. There's one other guy I think that has some upside here, at least to start the season. But yeah, love that. Sky Moore's awesome.
Hey, we didn't get to talk about it, and I love the pick, by the way. I love the pick, obviously, with my reaction. But Dalton Kincaid, man. I mean, I'm hyped for Dalton Kincaid. He's the guy that I'm going for in this range. And honestly, like, sometimes you see Dalton Kincaid fall a little bit, and you're able to snag him a little bit later. And I love that. And that's why I considered him one of my late round tight ends. But he's a great athlete, and he's lining up at wide receiver in some of the schemes that they're running. And I love everything about it. Josh Allen is going to have an amazing season, and you got to assume that Kincaid's going to be a contributor to that.
Yeah, I just think the narrative is that rookie tight ends don't produce, but he's not really a tight end. I mean, he's a wide receiver that you plug in at the tight end position. He's going to be over 55% of his lineup is going to be in the slot or out wide at least. So they're not going to have him in a traditional tight end spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that pick. And there's another rookie tight end that I also really like.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all can guess that.
Yeah, kid, that'll be.
Are you sure? Are you sure you like a rookie tight end? I think you might like a veteran tight end. You might just be a little confused there. Okay, so one of the guys did go here though. Oh wait, no, they haven't. Sorry, never mind. Sorry, I will shut up my mouth. I do have a, I guess, interesting observation though. So I'd like to get Shane's thoughts specifically on it. But we will wait. Wait a little bit. There goes. Okay, so Cortland Sutton is the other guy I was looking at 9-3. I think, obviously Jerry Jeudy. I think there's some real concern there. And I know Jeudy went in 8-6, and I think that's fine. I think just concerned with the way that, that injury happened. I don't know if there's been an update yet. I don't think there has, but at least to start the season, Sutton's going to have some increased targets coming his way for sure.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Stay on brand.
All right, crazy.
Stay on brand.
He's secure in this defense. Go ahead, talk to us, Arnold.
Yes, stay on brand.
Hey, get your guys, man. I would have gone Justin Tucker first pick if I really wanted to, but I didn't. I'm a sole believer. of taking a defensive early. I will say this point over and over again. Every defense starts with 10 points. Not every defense ends with it. And how many times have you lost under 10 points? A defense can really make the difference. So I would, in a range where there's a bunch of guys that, yes, do have a lot of upside, but I have my starting lineup basically set up. I don't have to take a super reach pick in this range. There's just a lot of guys that I'm just not 100% on. And one thing that I am 100% on is the San Francisco 49ers defense. So I'd rather take that knowing that I have a defense set up. And I mean, maybe Tank Bigsby win. That's nice. Maybe like I'll start a train. Maybe like more people will like start drafting defenses early. We'll see what happens. Garrett Wilson for Cooper Kupp.
Ooh, that's a tough one. While you guys are thinking about that a little bit there, no, I don't mind showing a defense there. I'm going to go ahead and take him here, but I'm curious, and I know people are down on this year, but the offense as a whole is trending upwards. I think we're all aware of that. Jacksonville, Evan Ingram, you took Kincaid over Ingram, so want to just hear your thoughts about that. Thoughts about Ingram and specifically.
So for me, it's just a target argument. So it's a lot more crowded receiving room and target room right now in Jacksonville with the addition of Calvin Ridley. Buffalo, I think there is a chance that Dalton Kincaid is the number 2 targeted receiving option on that team behind Diggs. I think there's a possibility of that happening. So it's just the target share is what I have concern about with Ingram.
Yeah, you have to go through Ridley, Kirk, ETN, and then you have to get to Ingram. I don't really want to do that. I'm not huge on Evan Ingram. Like full disclosure, only because I just think he doesn't provide a solid base every single week. Like you're gonna have at least like 2 or 3 games where he just pops off, but the rest of them are just gonna be kind of duds. And I don't know if I really like that. His inconsistency is just what drives me away.
So back real quick to the question here on the screen, Garrett Wilson for Kupp. If you have concerns over Kupp and you want to do the deal, I would take St. Brown over Wilson. If you're in a PPR league, if it's in a half, then maybe you could go Garrett Wilson. But if you're going to make that deal, and if you do have concerns, if that's worrying you, I would take St. Brown over Wilson.
Honestly, the news broke out today, and you're probably just getting a bunch of trades because of that. And people are just trying to get Cooper Kupp from you. People want Cooper Kupp because they know the value of Cooper Kupp. Yeah. So know your value too. You have Cooper Kupp. Like this guy's floor is incredibly high, a lot higher than a lot of players' ceilings. So just don't shy away from that. Yes, I know the injury, and I'll say it again. It's just an injury. Like next week, a lot of things could change. I mean, how many times? Okay, Josh Jacobs every single week last year was injured and not practicing. Like it was just so weird. But then he'll go out there and be the best running back in the league.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be too concerned.
Yep. I think it's important to, like you said, Arnold, really understand why. Like when someone shoots you a trade request or starts a negotiation, you always got to ask yourself, why is that happening? And everyone's a prisoner of the moment. And even though we're saying we're worried about Cooper Kupp, I think that's the general sentiment. So if that's general sentiment, that other manager is, as you said, thinking, okay, I can take advantage here and get Cooper Kupp on my team. So they want him. So they value him. So just realize that. But I don't think it's on paper, I don't think they're bad deals. I think if you are worried about them, go ahead and snag them. But yeah, I think, ultimately don't undersell Cooper Kupp. So both the guys that I'm looking at right now on my queue are here. And but you know what? Actually, no, because it's okay. So the other guy I'm looking at wouldn't work with my bye weeks here. There's really one running back left kind of in the tier that's left out there. So I'm just going to go ahead and secure Samaje Perine. And, hope Javonte Williams suffers a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a guy I had queued up this round. I think he's a good, safe reserve running back to have.
Yeah. And he's my RB3, and I do need some safety there. Then I'll start taking some shots at the RB position.
Yeah. And then, who knows if Javonte is 100% or if he re-injures it. And last year when P. Ryan filled in for Mixon, I mean, he averaged 24 points a game. I mean, he was a stud in those 4 games. Yeah. So he can play all 3 downs and produce.
Yeah, I love that P. Ryan pick, actually. Like you said, like he was able to come in from Mixon and just be a stud. So if he can come in and kind of play a role, kind of like how they did a couple of years ago with Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, I mean, you're going to get fantasy value out of one of those two. And I think P. Ryan can definitely be one of those guys that every other week can outscore Javonte if given the opportunities. And then especially if given the opportunity if Javonte were to get injured.
Yeah. And you look at, Sean Payton in New Orleans, he used multiple backs, whether it was Kamara and Ingram, and mixing in other people with Kamara throughout the years. He didn't really have one bell cow guy. Yeah. Kamara didn't get all the touches there. So I think they'll play safe with him.
Yeah. And like on top of that, like Russell Wilson is getting older. You're trying your best to protect him as much as possible. And I think Samaji is a better pass blocker than Javonte. I don't think they really want to take a risk with having Javonte pass blocking and, getting another injury. I mean, you don't want to keep Javonte out there and overwork him. So I think Samaji is super solid, and especially the fact that he's going to be able to go out there and do that for the Broncos.
So what do you think here about teams taking? So Brian just took his 4th quarterback in this league.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't even really notice that. Shout out to my boy Patch for getting Baker Mayfield. I love that Baker Mayfield pick.
Baker Mayfield, he's one of you. Oh, yeah. I know you like that guy this season.
Yeah, I love Baker.
All right, 10-team full PPR. We got Fields, Breece Hall, Rashad White, Tariq Waddle. Let's see, all these guys in the bench. Any recommendations? So I'm guessing you're asking us to set your lineup here. Any recommendations here from you guys about where Cameron should go with this lineup here, or I guess maybe if he should look to trade somebody? I'm not sure. If you can clarify a little bit, Cameron, what you're looking for, that'd be helpful. But yeah, any thoughts here on his lineup?
Arnold, I'll let you take it since my pick's coming up.
Yeah. I'm happy to take this. Okay. So it looks like you probably got the 5th pick in your league, and then on the turnaround, you got Tyreek, and then turnaround you got Waddle. After that, you went Breece Hall, and then you found Rashad White eventually. Oh no, you went Olave. And then you found Rashad White. Okay, I love that because that's probably where I would go. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been testing mock draft with Tyreek and Waddle, and I don't know if I entirely am bought into this, but I'm pretty set. If I get Tyreek and Waddle, I am happy with it, because if that offense does what it's supposed to do, both of the guys are going to end in the top 10. If one of them goes down, the other just takes over that workload, and you're still able to get a wide receiver production out of them, no matter what. Looking to upgrade running back or tight end.
I like that Kadarius Toney pick there at 11-9. I think the upside there is tremendous. He's been slipping so far because of the obvious injury concerns, but I think ceiling wise, he is huge. But yeah, Cameron looks like he's looking to trade for an RB or a tight end. So I guess given his roster here, is there any tight ends he should be looking at specifically?
Yeah, so I'm looking at your tight end, which would be Njoku, and he is a guy that I'm not 100% bought into, only because we have questions about the offense for Cleveland and where the target's going to be going. Obviously, you have to give it to Nick Chubb. You have to pass it to Mark Cooper. You're going to have to pass it to Elijah Moore, and then Sean Watt's going to do whatever he has to on his feet. So the targets are not going to be there for him. And if you really want to, you could probably get a guy like Kincaid. You could probably trade for him. You could probably trade for a guy like Pat Freiermuth. Or if you want to go risky, maybe trading out of Breece Hall might be something that you could look into. The only thing I would say with that is don't trade him in the first 4 weeks, because first 4 weeks for the Jets it's just really bad for them. So you're not going to get a lot of value unless for some reason he pops off. Then go ahead, but I don't project for him to pop off. That the first 4 weeks for the Jets is going to be really rough. So I would try to go try to find a different tight end outside.
Brian's another one of our. Absolutely, Arnold. And Brian's another one of our experts too. Say he traded Deontay Johnson and Cole Kmet for Dallas Goedert and Sky Moore, so he aimed for something like that. That looks like a pretty solid trade there. Okay, so Desmond Ridder is one of my QB sleepers there. Shane, talk to me a little bit about Mr. Desmond Ridder.
And full disclosure, he was the last starting quarterback left, and I only had two.
It's that easy.
I only had two, and he was the last one standing. He's the last man standing. So unless I'm going to take, a backup on the banks of trying, somebody getting hurt, that was it. So,
yeah. You're not taking one of those Cardinals starting QBs? I mean, come on.
No Clayton Tune or Josh Jobs.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we don't know who's starting there, by the way, if you guys aren't aware. The coach is citing competitive advantage for not naming the starter, which, okay, great. Oh, man. So love this pick by Mike here. Raheem Mostert, obviously, no Jeff Wilson for at least 4 weeks here. Mostert's going to go off, so that's a really great value pick there. Late.
Yep. Yeah, plug him in and play him right away, before he gets hurt.
Traylon Burks too. Oh man, both good picks. I like it.
Yeah, it's already coming to the end of that draft where you're going to have to just take a bunch of shots, and a lot of ways you could go. I like that Mostert pick a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they did sign, I'm skipping the name now. But they did sign a running back earlier today.
So A-Chain is interesting. That he was somebody I was thinking about too, just because I think there's long-term value throughout the year there as a pass catching back. So since he's gone, this is the range, kind of like you were saying, Arnold, where you got to take your high upside shot guys. And almost every draft, if I can get this guy, after round 10 or later, I'm going to take him. Let me pull him up. Where did he go? There we go. And that is Jaylen Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I love that pick. That's a great pick.
Darrington Evans is the running back the Dolphins signed, by the way. Go ahead, Arnold.
No, that's a great pick. Today we even saw ESPN articles about how Jaylen Warren has the opportunity to be the lead rusher for the Steelers, and it's definitely in the range of possibilities with Najee not being up to par. The offense going in a different direction could lead to that, and I think there's a lot of people on the Warren train. I feel like over the last couple of seasons, at least the last 2 seasons, people have been higher on Warren because they see him on the field and he's able to do so many things. So I like that pick. I really do love that pick, honestly. He's one of the guys that I was looking at too, and I was hoping he was going to be able to fall to me, but sadly, no.
Who are you looking at here then? There goes Dobbs, by the way. Look at that. Someone picked up Dobbs. Ew. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple guys I really want to get, but I gotta play this right. I definitely do have to play this right.
I'm just looking at, oh man, Taysom Hill's QB tight end. I'm just like, oh man, do I go there? I don't know. Can I go there?
Yeah,
could. Very well could. I am without a QB3 and without a tight end 2, so he would absolutely fit some spots for me.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, he's still there. I feel like it's a guy that can win me some weeks. Maybe not win me all of them, but win me at least some. Unless I might be talking myself out of it already. Gosh, I hope I'm not. I'm not. So I'm going Rashad Penny. One guy that I've been kind of higher on. I know that he is going into a running back room that is filled up and has so many different weapons, but it's the fact that they have so many different weapons. That's what intrigues me the most. So DeAndre Swift is always going to be the guy, or DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell are going to be the guys that are going to be getting a lot of the passing targets. And I feel like Rashad Penny is going to be able to come in and do a lot of that workhorse for them. Those in between the downs kind of stuff. So first down, second down. And this guy averaged, 5.3 yards, or he does average for his career 5.3 yards per carry. It's a guy that is statistically very, very good at running back. Like, you can't just neglect the fact that he goes out there and he gets you a wonderful amount of yards per carry. So it's a guy that I think could potentially finish in the top 24, maybe. Maybe that could be a little bit too bold, could be 30, but definitely a lot of upside there, especially if DeAndre Swift does end up missing time throughout the season, because obviously his injury history, you just never know.
And I'm just realizing now, Brian's asking us if he wants a QB. He's got 5 QBs on his team, so that's interesting to say the least. Kyler Murray, let me ask you guys about that. I'll talk about my pick here real quick, but after I pick this pick, talking about Kyler Murray, you guys worried? I mean, the Cardinals, I mean, they're not incentivized to win this season, so does he even play this season? That's my question. And my pick here is going to be Chig. I'm so happy that Chig fell to me here, and he's going to work for my tight end too. I'm happy to have that upside there this late in the draft at that position where I desperately need it. So go ahead, talk to me a little bit about Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I have concerns. You know, if they get out to an 0-4, 0-5 start, like, I think there is a distinct possibility they just slow play the return of Kyler Murray, for sure. Even if he does come back, I mean, in this draft, it's not a bad. I think Brian took him as his maybe QB4, so it's not a big deal. But you can't expect the rushing numbers to happen this year coming back from that injury. There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, lots of concern there, but if you can snag him super late, you know, if you have an IL spot in your league, maybe, and he's like a last round pick, I think that makes sense. Things like that. But for the most part, I just stay away. I'm not super interested in that. OBJ goes to Patrick Leary. Here he is. And how you guys play? I mean, I'm with 2 QBs here. Obviously, it's a super flex league. You ideally want to start 2 QBs every single week, but you don't have to have more than 2, do you? I mean, what do you guys think? 3, 4? What is your ideal QBs in this format?
Ooh, you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, all right. So I've never done a Superflex, so I don't.
You want to hear my expert opinion? Nice start.
This will be the first year studying Superflex. I've done a couple mock drafts with the Fantasy Row Show. I've been able to do a couple on the side as well. So this is my first year actually doing a Superflex. Going into it, I don't necessarily think you have to have 2 QBs, but it's really, really nice if you have 2 guys that can get you above 15 to 17 points with upside of 25. If you can get those kind of guys and you can run with them throughout the season, I'm okay with that. I've stopped taking QBs, and it's not because like the board doesn't let me. It's just I'm okay with having Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers as my 2 QBs. So I guess for a first-time start, I'm not a huge fan of taking more QBs after that, unless I find a guy that's going to be like super late. I would have loved to have gone Baker. I just wasn't paying attention, truthfully. So I probably would have gone Baker if I did see him, but I didn't. But having that extra flex just allows more than just another running back, allows more than just another quarterback. It allows a wide receiver and a tight end and a running back. So if you have like 6 solid guys that are worth starting, I'm okay with that. Truck along with that. You don't always have to go 2 QB, but that's just my opinion on that.
Okay, so I'm between a couple of guys here. I think I'm going to grab a running back for sure. I see a couple guys that have pretty sky high upside. I'm between 3 of them right now. And I don't know, man. I think, you know, if I'm going to bet against a starting quarterback, I think that's a real bell cow that gets a whole lot of touches. I think I'd like to bet against Derrick Henry. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Tyjae Spears here.
Oh, killing me, Keith. I literally had him queued. He just disappeared from my queue window there.
Yeah, it's tough. That's I mean, do you feel the same way though? You know, out of all the starting running backs, I think he's the guy, right? That would have kind of the fall off. So
look, it's 2 things. It's opportunity, and then just look at the way he looks this preseason. Mm-hmm. He looks amazing. I mean, the way he's running, and he doesn't have an ACL. I mean, it's incredible. He definitely could come in and be a 3-down back if Henry misses time.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then a couple more running backs here. Jerick McKinnon, Deion Jackson. Indianapolis is interesting. Obviously, we got Evan Hull, Deion Jackson, Zach Moss coming back perhaps. So, you know, what do you guys make of that running back room? And I know we're about to have Shane on the clock here. So, Arnold, let me pose that to you.
Yeah, yeah.
choose
So
Deion
I
Jackson,
talked about it
obviously.
earlier. Yeah. I talked about it earlier. Anthony Richardson's probably going to end up being RB1, but Deion Jackson was able to come in last year and even the year before that, if I remember right. Hopefully, I'm thinking about the same guy, and fit in for Jonathan Taylor pretty well. Not obviously not to the potential that you want him to be, but I do have the edge with Deion Jackson over Zach Moss only because I've seen it before. With Indianapolis, when Jonathan Taylor goes out, they give it to Deion Jackson, and I mean, you're not going to expect the most out of him, but it's going to be a safe pick. And I took him here just because I wanted to secure that pick, just in case he does end up meeting the potential that he does have.
Yeah. All right, Shane's on the clock here.
So Algier was one, and the other guy I had queued up as a high upside backup. So now I'm going to pivot away. When I'm looking at these receivers, really, when you're looking at this range of receivers, I'm just going to go with a guy who's in the biggest pass-heavy offense there is right now. And even though he's the number 3 receiver, is KJ Osborne, just because of pass volume and the team on there.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and obviously with being the third, being the third wide receiver in a offense that is passing the ball so much, I mean, you got to assume that it's going to go his way.
Mm-hmm. I know, Arnold, I think you might have to take off here for a minute, so we will catch you later, man. Thank you for joining us. It'll be just me and Shane for the rest of this. But
you guys have fun with the rest of it. I'm going to be drafting outside of this, but I just have a couple assignments that I need to do, so I need to get those out of the way. I just want to say real quick, shout out to John for getting the second defense. I love the Cowboys pick right there. That's amazing. And you guys kill it. I can't wait to go up against you guys this season. You guys are freaking amazing. Great minds in this draft. So we're going to kill it. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll
have
see
a
you
good
guys.
one.
You guys follow me on Twitter, though.
Yep. Follow my guy on Twitter. He is our defensive guru. So, of course, he picked the first defense. I love it. Staying on brand, as Shane said. There's some good defenses. I'm actually looking to pull up his defensive tiers now that he's heading out there. And there's some good defenses still sitting out there. But it looks like the first 2 that went off the board are pretty much what we would expect. So, nothing too exciting there. Okay, so we got Fantasy Roadshow on the clock here. There we go. Kent Gainwell. That was the other guy I had. I don't know if he's a high upside necessarily, but it seems like he's going to be in the mix for touches. So, probably the third out of the 3 guys I had, which was Algier, Spears, and Gainwell. And let's see here. Mike's on the clock here. That is his tight end 2, Gerald Everett. He has Njoku as his tight end 1. It's okay. Fine. Tight ends aren't very attractive anyways. Aren't very exciting. Let's see. He's got 4 RBs here and 5 wide receivers. Could go either way, probably. Tyler Boyd. Okay.
Tyler Boyd.
There you go. All right.
So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that I kind of pivoted here. I didn't think I was going to take two tight ends in this draft, but I'm not really a fan of what's left at running back. Dolchik would have been probably the second one, but there was 2 tight ends. He was one of them. And I'm going to take the guy that, if you're following me on Twitter, I just tweeted about today when I did a poll on late tight ends. And this guy actually was a top 10 tight end last year. He set a career high in targets and catches. And I think now with the Cooper Kupp news, he may be the number 2 target in that offense, and that's Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, he was on my queue as well. When I was looking at tight ends, he was still there sitting around, but I like it. Like it a whole lot. He's generating some buzz early on too. So
I just got a notice also, Keith, if you want to, Coles is ready to hop in if you want.
Oh, what's up, fellas?
Let's go. What's going on?
And if you guys aren't following these guys already, it's a Fantasy Roadshow crew. They do fantastic work. How's it going? Talk to us about this draft so far. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we need to have a conversation with Shane O'Mac first.
Shane, what are you doing, man?
No,
you're killing me.
Wait, Ryan, let's see if he can guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. If there was 4 picks that we were upset with you about, which 4 would they be?
All right, I'm going to go Justin Herbert.
Correct.
Okay, then I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins.
Incorrect.
Okay,
all
right.
You were going to think that one, though.
All right, then I'm going to go for sure, 100%. I said this is George Pickens.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, then David Montgomery.
Incorrect. We went him. We Ryan was probably upset, but we passed on. We went Pitts instead of Montgomery.
Yeah.
I'll explain why.
And then the last one is it was either Kincaid or Sky Moore.
So definitely Kincaid. All right. So we'll tell you who it is now and why. Herbert, end of tier quarterback. That was Ryan gave himself hope that he was going to fall. Did not.
False hope.
So the reason we weren't upset about Dobbins is the strategy that we took here was just zigging when everyone zagged and going Bijan and Saquon. Like we had to stand out somewhere, and we have them as our RB1 and 2, which quite honestly, like running backs are going to be valued heavily in this format that you should be starting 2 quarterbacks. You know, you don't have the ability to start 3 or 4 wide receivers. Sorry, I see you're on the clock, Keith.
No, you're good. No worries. Go ahead. No, it's fine. I'm gonna get a couple wide receivers here actually that you're speaking, and maybe something else, but I think I'm going to go with these wide receivers here. I'm just going to go ahead and lock in Zay Jones from the Jaguars. Obviously, I'm high in the Jaguars this season, so that's my second guy from the team. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, so like the way that we looked at it is like, all right, you miss out on tier 1 quarterback, then you have to make a move, right? And getting our RB1 and RB2 is the move that you have to make in order to win this league. If they end up RB1 and RB2, we will have a very good shot, right? Like running back is how you can win fantasy football leagues. So that was really the only way we felt like we can be competitive. So we went that way, and it actually worked out with us being able to go Cooper and then Watson. Like now you're planting your flag on having elite running backs, and then if the Browns offense is good, you know, we have 2 huge parts of that. So those are 2 things we think are, you know, it was after 4 rounds we felt a lot better, let's put it that way. But however, that's why we didn't care really about Dobbins, is because there's only going to be 2 other times that a running back hopefully starts. Week 13 and week 11 is our buys. Obviously, you can't really hope on or, you know, pray on a running back being full healthy the full season, but that's kind of this mentality we had to take here. So Pickens is the other guy, obviously. You know, we get you on the Pickens train, and then you just
you have yourself to blame for that.
Yep.
And then Kincaid. We were hoping that you were gonna be like, they have their tight end in the 8th.
I thought about it.
Enough. That's enough for them, and we were gonna snipe you back, but it didn't work out that way. The last one was probably surprising, but we were very upset with the Ritter snipe. We thought going 3 quarterbacks was going to be essential for us, and you ruined our opportunity of that.
Yeah.
So now we're stuck with 2.
Deshaun Watson and Matt Stafford. Yeah, that's it should be okay though. I mean, you know, you'll hang in there. It's not the worst thing in the world. I do like Mike's stack though. Right after you guys there, I was talking about that, the Pickett and Howell stack. I think those are some high upside guys, but hey, the floor could fall out as well. So not a whole lot to love there, but yeah, it's
definitely
interesting.
High upside, right?
Yeah.
But like with that typically comes risk. So like, you know, I like there's gonna be we obviously need Watson to be good, like great. And then Stafford needs to return to form. So like
I'm not
stay
healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But tier 1 quarterbacks extremely valuable in this format.
Were you guys surprised as like I was that the second quarterbacks went so early, like so many, like in that second and third round? Like I didn't think they would go that early. Like when
No, the way we were talking about it, we knew that if we had the opportunity to go 2 elite quarterbacks, that was going to be the strategy we would go with. But with our draft position, it just didn't fall that way for us. But absolutely, we would have taken the 2 elite quarterbacks early.
Yeah.
That
Keith,
Keith,
I was saying that you would have won the draft, Keith, had you gone Allen, Garrett Wilson, and Daniel Jones. I think that start wins the draft. Especially with the running, they're both running quarterbacks. So you don't have the 4-point passing touchdown, but you do get the 6-point rushing. That's the way I looked at that. But
no, fair enough. I don't think I had a chance to get Jones. I think he went a few before me.
He was after you.
Was he after me?
Yeah, four spots after you.
Oh yeah, he was. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
All right, Ryan, we're on the clock here.
Yeah, I see that. Do you want to go the guy we talked about last pick that you mentioned?
You can say him as a DPJ.
Yeah, that's the guy you want.
Not really, but I mean, like, I think it makes sense. I don't want him. I don't want him, but it makes sense.
I would go Hodgins over DPJ personally.
I would go Darnell Mooney to get some Bears blood on the squad.
There you go.
I love that. If you're willing to take a Bears player, Mike, grab him.
Let's just do it. Fuck it.
A little Darnell.
I like Mooney, man. I think he's a good football player.
And Mike's right after you guys there. Yeah, talk to me about DPR, man. Are you guys excited about him? It sounds like at least one of you is. What's going on there?
Are we excited about what?
DPR. Yeah, are you excited about him?
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
DTR,
yeah. No. No, in fact, I don't even want to take him. I just think because of the, Brown stack we have going on, like throw a dart. I would have much rather Jaden Reed actually, even over Mooney. So I no to the answer, but I don't think we really need running backs. Jerome Ford's obviously interesting, but like we said earlier about our running backs, if Bijan or Saquon get injured, we're screwed anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here, Ryan. I don't really think it matters, to be honest.
I mean, like Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford.
Let's just go Jefferson because of let's go Ford because of his injury upside.
I like it.
All right. So we do have a question here, guys. Half PPR. Let's see. He's got his whole roster there. And any thoughts on an upgrade? Which of this roster do you think deserves an upgrade?
It's
Mike,
so
you want to start?
It's so hard for me to read. Let me get my brain.
I mean, you just get the start. It's quarterback Geno.
Yeah, Geno Smith. Yeah.
Any thoughts on an upgrade? Yeah, I mean, your receivers are great.
Running
backs are good. Yeah, your team's great. I'm not a Geno Smith guy, so there's other Geno Smith people that you should talk to about that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna hop out because it's getting a little crowded here. I'm gonna let Brian hop in, but I'll be listening in, guys. So let me get our guy Brian in here. 1 second.
I want to talk to Brian, actually. Well, let's have a conversation here. Let's have a conversation here, Brian. So you didn't go quarterback. I thought that was wildly interesting. Let's hear about Jefferson over tier 1 quarterback in this format.
Fields. I wanted a rushing quarterback, so I didn't think the others were worth it. I get the Herbert. I would have gone Herbert over Burrow, honestly. I agree. I was kind of your mindset. If I didn't get one of those 5, then I wanted positional.
Yeah.
I wanted a positional upgrade elsewhere, and I just thought I could do it at wide receiver.
Yeah. That was definitely interesting.
But I just hammered quarterback after.
Yeah, we see that.
Yeah.
It's like whack-a-mole. Like as soon as the quarterback was there, Brian was just like, yeah.
So I have a feeling that you felt like me also, in that after the 4th round, getting Kirk Cousins, you felt a lot better.
Yeah, it was perfect for me because I had Jefferson.
Right. That's what I mean.
And I just think, honestly, I wanted Richardson, but I needed somebody safe that I could start on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
I regret not getting Richardson, but I have him in every single one of my other leagues. So I'm like, all right, I'll hedge a little. But yeah, I just think if you're starting 2 quarterbacks pretty much guaranteed, and both my running backs and receivers right now are pretty set, maybe I get Taylor back, maybe not. But Henry, Akers, Adams, Jefferson, that I'm just going to take as many shots at quarterback as I can. And at some point, I start to screw everyone else over for bye weeks.
Us being one of those people.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I was actually hoping that our quarterback shared a bye week after we didn't get a 3rd and just kind of punt on a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of like getting the Cooper Watson stack there in the 3rd and the 4th. Like we actually just felt there is an avenue to success, whereas we didn't feel that strongly. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I feel like if you're a top 3 team in this, you have such an advantage of getting one of those top 3 guys. Fields and Jackson could easily be up there with them, but you feel a lot safer in the top 3 position, and then you can just take risk elsewhere.
Right. Yeah.
My team could fall flat on his face, but we'll see. It'll be fun.
Have you, Shane or Brian, you guys ever done a can you guys hear that or no?
Yeah.
I hear cats. I didn't hear you say anything.
Oh, okay. No. Have you ever been in a draft with a 3rd round reversal?
No.
All right.
No.
I've heard about it a lot for basketball. I've never heard of it for football.
Yeah, this is a draft that I thought would have been great for a 3rd round reversal with those first 3 picks being so top heavy. In the 3rd round, instead of starting at the number 1, you start at the number 12, and the draft board just kind of switches.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate that rule, except maybe it would have worked in this format. Typically, I think it's just like I don't like that, but I think that makes sense based on how much value it is in these first 5 picks.
So let me ask you guys, we talked a little bit about it. What did you guys make, all 3 of you, of the Cooper Kupp slide? Is it justifiable, or is it too scared of news today?
We had our last final roadshow Best Ball Mania, and we were at the 103 in our second to last, went Diggs, got the Diggs Allen stack that we like to go, and then we were in the 104 in our second one, and we went Cooper Kupp, having like Diggs and Kupp, just coin flip between the 2 of them, and then probably 15 minutes later, I don't even think that. No, it was right after we recorded. I was going to say it might have been in the recording. We got that update with his hamstring, and it was like, yeah, I think it's justified.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to get him. I just already somewhat had him ranked at the beginning.
Actually, this
of the
is not
season
a
when I ranked
slide.
Receivers.
It's not even a slide though in this draft. I think Arnold went early. I would have pushed Kupp all the way behind.
Yeah, almost
Waddle.
2 rounds.
All the way behind Waddle is where my slide for Kupp would be. I'd probably take him over AJ Brown, maybe, because I'm just not a huge Brown guy. But I would have taken Lamb, Wilson, Amon-Ra, and Waddle all ahead of Kupp with his hamstring. I don't know about you, Bryce. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no. I mean, I hear you. I wasn't big on Kupp at the beginning of the season. I just didn't think the Rams were going to be good. I rated Adams ahead of him anyways. I don't blame. I probably would have taken him behind, let's see, probably Amon-Ra. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Waddle's all right. I like A.J. Brown. I think he's going to have double-digit touchdowns. Somebody in that receiver room is, and it's either going to be Goddard, him, or Smith. And I think him and Goddard are probably the best opportunities too.
So let me ask you guys one question related to him. We had a guy asking a trade question. He's gotten a trade request today of he would give up Cooper Kupp for either Garrett Wilson or St. Brown. What would you guys do?
Cooper Kupp, and he can get Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson?
Or. Either or. Yeah, he had two trade offers.
Go for I would prefer Garrett over Amon-Ra, but I would do that.
I think I would do both of those.
Trade Kupp for either one of those guys at this point.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's already injury concern going into the year, and then it exists before we even play a game.
Yep.
Yeah, there's just less risk with Garrett and Amon-Ra to me.
Yeah, I like to already have that concern, and then for it to happen before the season starts. Like, how frustrating is that going to be when your guy is questionable the majority of the season? I don't know. I just think like it's so important to not swing and miss in the first 3 rounds. You can't necessarily win a draft in the first 3 rounds in my mind, but you can certainly lose it. And sometimes, that's injury that happens and it's just unfortunate, but like taking that big of to me, that's too big of a swing. I don't know. I could be wrong in that thought process, but I just like to be, you saw it, Shane. That's why I like going Allen and Andrews over taking a swing on I don't know.
Get Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Well, and what we talked about also, so you not only have the Kupp injury concerns, but there's injury concerns with Stafford. And if something happens to Stafford, they're going to be really rough looking.
Here's one. Who's the running back to own for Indianapolis? Because Ryan and I Truck and I had a disagreement there.
Kareem Hunt.
If you're talking about existing roster,
if that doesn't exist,
existing roster, current roster right now.
I would probably go.
I like Jackson. I think he's proven it. Hall is good in the passing game. He could be the one, but that's more of a risk, and most likely none of them will be there. So at least I'd probably go more safe.
Yeah, I'd probably go Jackson 1, Zach Moss 2.
Yeah, he's my 1.
Yeah, it's close between those two.
I just think Jackson sucks. He's already had an opportunity to do something he didn't.
I think Moss sucks. Everywhere he's been, he's just been kind of very mediocre. So I'd rather go the unknown of Evan Hull.
He's never sucked. He's just been behind Singleton. Like he was not bad for the Bills.
He was always
out.
He had
but he's
so
never
much
had
hype.
an opportunity. I'd rather someone who's never had an opportunity for anything than someone who has and failed.
I think Moss has gotten a decent opportunity in his early career.
Then maybe I just didn't watch football back then.
That could be
Tyler
the
Bass.
time when you took a
break.
break.
We go Tyler Bass. Speaking of the Bills,
let's do it.
Fuck it. Let's go T-Bass, baby.
I almost went that with my last pick.
Turn up T-Bass. I love it. I would never draft a kicker in a defense, literally ever. But at this point, whatever. Camp's over.
I don't mind the defenses. I wouldn't go as early as some went, but if you can get a defense that you're comfortable with starting every week, it just makes life way easier. You can concentrate on other things with your fab or whatever we're using in this.
Yeah.
You're saying you wouldn't draft a tight end, or you wouldn't draft a defense in round 10?
Okay.
It's a bit
Commanders?
early. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean-
Commanders top 10.
I don't know what the other matchups are, Ryan.
Commanders have a
got the
great
best matchup.
Yeah, they got a great matchup week 1.
Baltimore's got a nice 4 opening game stretch too. But they're already gone. No.
Were you trying to get me to snipe you?
No.
He's already got the Saints.
Yeah. The Saints have a beautiful opening stretch of the
nice.
schedule. Oh man, boy, I am just tilting here over which kicker to go with. Whew. Ugh.
How do you feel about leaving without a kicker?
Ooh.
I mean-
I just think because the benches are so deep,
Deep,
and
yeah.
like we're already camp's basically over. Most decisions are clear at this point.
Fair.
Yeah, it's all
Otherwise,
depends on how
I
early
don't
you
think
draft.
I don't think I've ever drafted like kicker or defense, literally ever. In typically, I'm not in leagues that have. I'm in people that are just too anxious to draft, like myself. So we do it earlier in camp. And just like there's something, we're just a bunch of sickos that like if a player gets injured, we're like kind of enjoy the pain. But no, I typically don't draft like week of for some reason. This year,
I only try to draft week of.
yeah, I understand that.
I feel like if
Yeah.
you put in so much effort and then that guy gets hurt, you just hate yourself for it.
Yeah, especially before the season even starts. You're like, all right, well, what the hell?
Oh, I can't. It forces you to draft. I can't draft another.
Yeah, I bet say I think also this is set up where it's going to force you to.
Yeah, have you guys
That's
ever
a
used
real
Fantrax
shame.
before?
I'm in 2 dynasty leagues for basketball and football, but people love it. I don't. It's all right.
Yeah, this is my first time in Fantrax.
I need to make a decision if I'm gonna be in on fantasy basketball or not.
Duicles.
Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna pop in here though to say that if you guys haven't read it already, one of our guys, actually Keith Verratti, another Keith, which is surprising, is in our basketball division. Just wrote an article actually about the different platforms and who plays on them. And Fantrax, yeah, the knock on Fantrax is that the user experience is a little iffy. And I will say, setting your lineups, you're gonna come across some headaches. I would definitely experiment with that a little bit more and pay attention to the messages that pop up when you set your lineups, and make sure you hit submit before you leave the screen. Let me go ahead and just tell you guys that if you're still listening. But it does give you options that other platforms don't. So when dynasty leagues pop up and stuff like that, it gives you those options to do really, really deep leagues, 30-team leagues, and salary cap leagues, and all that good stuff. It's very easy to set those things up on Fantrax. It's also easy to screw them up. So there's a knock on that as well.
Hey, can I give some advice real quick on that?
Yeah.
So if you're making a fab bid or any type of waiver wire pickup, make sure your roster is set and is valid or not. Right. You don't have any errors on your roster for the next week, even 2 weeks. I've missed out on people in basketball because 2 weeks from now my roster is not set, and that's even a daily lineup.
Yeah. So just pay attention to that. It will give you an error message. Sometimes you can miss it. It's just it's difficult, but yeah, it's that's definitely a knock on the platform for sure.
Brian, we need to have you on the road show before the season starts, and we don't have much time.
Pick a night. I'm Eastern time zone.
Arnold's going to use the whole clock here. Come on,
Truck. Do you think it would be like awards would be a good episode to have him on?
Yeah, I think that's an easy addition there.
So we'll do awards.
All right.
Are you busy Monday night?
I shouldn't be. No. Monday's Labor Day. No, I'm not doing anything.
All right, Jamie, get to me, man. Let's go.
We'll reach out to you with a schedule on Monday, and we'll do an award show.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. And we are using Fab in this league, by the way. I know that was a question as well. We're not doing waiver wire. Fab is the only way to go, just as auction drafts are superior ways to draft as well, because then everybody has an opportunity to get everybody. You don't have to wait in some mystery line.
Yeah, you want your guy, go pay for him.
You guys want to hear a dynasty trade I made today? Shane,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this.
God.
Shane.
Toot your own horn there, Mike. This one's brutal.
I just want to toot my negotiation horn for sure. Just here we go. Where is it? Okay. I gave away Mark Andrews.
Okay.
Mark Andrews in a second round, and you guys know how huge I am on Mark Andrews, right? Mark Andrews in a second rounder, and in return I got Aaron Jones, TJ Hawkinson, and Jahan Dotson.
Whoa! Wow! Whoa!
Pretty solid.
Wow.
Yeah, the other guy had Lamar Jackson, so he was itching for Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and Ryan has Kelsey. He has Mahomes and Lamar, and they had these like negotiations going on for Kelsey, so he was going to get his tight end stack, and then I was just lucky. Sometimes it's better to be second at the table, baby.
Man.
Yeah, we were having a little bidding war.
Ryan beat him up for me, and I closed the deal, baby.
Yeah.
You're getting Dotson right before the blow-up year.
I know, right? And
are we sure that we have to draft a kicker? Is it going to let me? Let me see. There's a guy in here, I think.
Doesn't let you.
It's gonna force you.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So I'll see if he gets drafted because I do want to talk about him. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I'll take my kicker.
Keith, you know something that happened today that was cool, or yesterday? We had a roadie reach out on YouTube and asked if we could do a mock for his league settings. And
love it.
Oh, nice.
We did it and released it today. It was.
I still want to do draft grades. We didn't get a chance to do that this season, but I think for next season we will try to do something like that where people kind of submit their drafts to us and kind of give each team draft grades and talk about it.
I think that helps a lot for them.
We're done. No nightmare's over. 18 rounds is probably a little too much, a little bit over the top. But...
Hey, Keith,
Yeah.
you might
lets me get 5 QBs.
You might want to submit your first waiver claim since your kicker's hurt.
I do see that. I do see that for sure. That's okay. I'm not concerned about it, but I will certainly do that. So one guy I'm surprised didn't get drafted here, and maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but Luke Musgrave. I'm pretty surprised that he's not up there. Any thoughts on him this season from you guys?
I just don't think there's a need to have more than one tight end if you feel set, like 2 at the most. So most likely there's 18 tight ends being drafted. Like, I think maybe it works out. I just don't think he's really needed in this type of setup.
I agree. I also think that tight ends are more valuable. I said this but like you're saying, you don't need a draft. Like you don't need to go that deep at tight end. But I think because of the 2 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and tight end, essentially is what we can call this, that tight end's value does increase because you're only starting 2 running back and 2 wide receiver. Yeah. That being said, you're right. I don't know, because tight end's also a position where you can throw darts and get in the top 10. So maybe it is worth throwing a dart there just from a potential upside. But I do think because of that starting lineup roster build, tight end's value increases a little bit.
But would you ever start him over we can go down the list: Kelsey, Waller, Andrews, Goddard, Kittle, Freiermuth?
No,
I just don't think you'd ever really start him in front
unless he pops off, right? Because our benches are so deep, maybe there is value to roster a couple tight ends just in the event of he ends up being a top 10 guy. There's always someone like Hayden Hurst, perfect example. I could see Hayden Hurst just being a safety net for Bryce Young and having a good season and sneaking his way into being a top. 10's egregious, but 15 certainly. I don't know. It's a weird position, man.
Well, it's interesting to see how it plays out. We will keep bringing you guys content about this. Do follow all these guys on the screen here. They are all super duper knowledgeable. Obviously, the Fantasy Roadshow, you guys want to go ahead and give that a listen and a watch. They do great content as well. They're doing a whole bunch. Are you guys still doing 2-a-days? You're not doing that anymore, right? I hope not.
It ends next week.
You're still doing it. Okay. Well,
Keith, honestly, sometimes I just think we talk a lot and we're not that knowledgeable. So,
well, they talk. If you like a lot of talking, then go listen to those guys. But no, it's been fantastic, guys. We're gonna keep you guys updated on how this league goes. Thanks for tuning in. Go follow. Please like and subscribe. Like the video. Go subscribe to SportsEthos YouTube page. And hey, we'll catch you for the next one.